everyone, it's Candace. Thank you for coming to my channel. Today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my pets because I do mention them a lot and I have a lot of them unintentionally. And so I never meant to have so many. Most of them just kind of found their way to me. Only 2 of them are on purpose. So first is Harley. He is about 12 years old. I've had him for a little over 8 years now. And I adopted him back in 2014. And how that went was, so I was living with my biological father and his wife, and he had a little chihuahua and she had recently passed. So we decided that we were going to surprise him with a new dog, and he only liked chihuahuas, like the Applehead ones. And then so we went around to like different PetSmarts and I saw Harley, and he is Chihuahua and Dachshund and Rat Terrier and a lot of other things. And so we sent a picture to my dad. He's like, no, because he's not. There he is, because he's not on Applehead. I'm so like, fine, okay. But I wanted to meet him, and then so they brought him out, and I got to meet him and everything, and oh my god, he was just the sweetest little baby. So we were like, but we'll keep him on the back burner just in case. And so we went to another one across town, and there we found Chloe, who was a typical Chihuahua, and she was gorgeous and she was sweet. So we decided to get her for my dad, but I just could not get Harley out of my head. So I was just like, okay, can I please get this dog? Please, 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 please. And so my dad was like, okay, fine. And then so we went back and I got him. And it was probably the greatest blessing of my life, because he has been with me through a lot. And I wish I was exaggerating whenever I said that, but I'm not. He has been with me through homelessness, through living in a car, through a lot of moves and toxic relationships. And he has been with me and he has loved me, and he is the only reason I'm alive. Truly, honestly, if I didn't have him, there were times that I didn't think my life would be worth it. But I knew that I had to keep going because Harley, he needs me. So that is the story of Harley. And so the next one is Casey. He is my all black cat. I was looking for an all black female cat, and then so I found this lady on Craigslist who had a 7-week-old black cat. She said it was a female. So I drove like an hour and a half to go get her. Yeah, so I get there and she's just like the sweetest little thing in the world. So I get her home. I have like a cute little pink collar on her and everything. And thankfully I picked the name Casey because it is unisex. And then I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't think this is a girl. I think this is a boy. And then so whenever I went to go and get like his shots and everything, they confirmed it was in fact a boy. But that's okay, because he is still just the most cuddly thing in the entire world. He literally sleeps on top of me. Doesn't matter if I am on my side, on my back, on my stomach. He is right here. And it kills my back, honestly, but that's just what he likes to do. And I got him, it's been a little over 2 years ago. And so his birthday is on April 20th. So I wanted a girl, but I got him, and I don't regret it. But he's been an awesome cat. Because whenever I found Dahlia, sometime in the middle of September, 2 years ago, so it's been about 2 years, I found her. She was just literally fit in the palm of my hand. And I found her outside while I was taking a walk with Harley, and her eyes were barely even open. I'm gonna put pictures up afterwards, and then so you'll be able to see all of them and their growth and everything. And then so I brought her in, and I didn't even think she was alive. And I know who the mom is, I know who the dad is, because the feral cats around here, they've been here for a while. And then so I knew she had been abandoned, because I did make sure to watch and did make sure to step back and watch and make sure, and the mom was just completely ignoring her. And then so I pick her up, and this poor baby kitten, she just has blood and just mucus just all on her face, and she can barely breathe. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, she's coming with me. And then so I bring her inside, and of course Harley, he is such a mama dog. He thinks he's a female cat, because he loves kittens. And then so he's sitting there like crying and everything. And then so I clean up her face, I give her a little bath, and she can still just barely breathe. She had basically like an upper respiratory infection. And so I had to go to PetSmart to get her like the kitten formula and bottles and everything. And for like the first week or two, she didn't want to eat, because she couldn't breathe whenever she was eating, and I don't think she could swallow all that well, and it was so sad. But then finally she started drinking from a bottle and everything, and she has just grown into a very feisty, sassy cat, and gorgeous cat. But Casey, he just sat there, and he was her mom. Like, he would sit there and make sure that she went to the bathroom, and he would, like, she would sit there and like root around on his chest and stuff looking for, you know, milk, and he would just let her do that. And it was pretty amazing to see how well my two boys took care of this little bitty girl. And honestly, I didn't think she was gonna make it through the first night. And then I didn't think she was gonna make it through the first week. And I was like, no way she's going to make it a month. Here we are 2 years later. And she is gorgeous. And then so that comes to the kittens. So she had 7 kittens on June 29th. And the daddy is Hunter, which I'll get to him in a minute. And I found homes for 6 of them, 6 of the 7. And I still have one. And I call her Poppy, my little poppy flower. And I don't know if I'm gonna keep her yet, or if I am gonna try to find her a home, because she's just so cute. She just has like that perfect little kitten face, and she's adorable. So I'm not sure yet. I shouldn't keep her, but I want to. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then Hunter, he is an interesting story. I've had a lot of, I wouldn't say issues, but a lot of experiences with him. So it was just over a year ago, about the middle of August of last year, and I hear this meowing at the door, and I'm sitting there going, okay, that's probably Kit, my outside cat. I'll get to her in a minute too. And then I looked outside, and it's a black and gray tabby, just like Kit, except for she has a lot of white on her, and he didn't have any. And then he had like this blue rubber bracelet thing around his neck, you know, like the awareness bracelets. He had one of those around his neck, and so I'm like, that's not good. And I didn't know if it's because the owner just put it on like as a collar substitute, or if some kids were just being mean. So I brought him inside, and he was just so amazingly sweet. I knew he had to have a home. He wasn't a stray cat. And he looked probably like about 3 or 4 months old. So just a baby. And then so I bring him inside, I give him some food, and I cut the necklace off of his neck because it was starting to get a little bit tight. And then I posted him on all the local pages, like on Facebook, on Paw Boost, on so many different sites, trying to find the owners, because I mean, I already had 2 cats and a dog at that point. I couldn't afford another one, and I wanted to make sure that he got home okay. But then 2 weeks passed, and nobody had claimed him. Nobody had come looking for him. I was checking all the sites to see if anybody had lost a kitten. Nobody put him up, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try to find a home for him myself. But then on August 31st, I had 2 weeks, he climbed up on the banister, because I have a 2-story loft. So I have a banister that overlooks the bottom floor. But he had just learned how to get up on the banister, and he fell down into the kitchen. And he landed apparently just perfectly so that his leg just snapped. And it was the saddest thing. It was so sad. And then so I'm on the phone with my mom, like, I don't know where to take him. I don't know like any vets, like emergency vets or anything. And so finally I found one, and it's like an animal ER here in Arlington, and they took great care of him, and they said he could either get surgery or he could have like a splint. But since they did estimate him to be born around like April 16th or so. So May, June, July. So about for almost 5 months. And then, so they said that since he is a kitten, then his bones will actually grow back together a lot quicker and a lot easier. And he shouldn't have any complications once it's healed. So they said that while the surgery would be quicker, I guess, the splint would be easier and it wouldn't hurt him as much. So I got the splint, and how the bone was broken, it was to where they could get it into place a lot easier than if it had just like shattered or anything, because it just so sound effects, yeah. And then so I gave him a splint, and I had to come back every week. They said for 6 to 8 weeks. And this is a cat that I wasn't supposed to have. I can't say I didn't want him because he was just so sweet. But this is so much money for a cat that's not even mine. They did check him for a chip and everything like that, and he didn't have anything. And I'm like, okay, so I can't give him away with a broken leg and make somebody else pick up the cost for that. And I went into tons of debt. I'm still paying off debt from this because I had gotten a huge, big, like the biggest dog cage you can basically get, like the kennels. And so I had him like a litter box in there, food, a big bed. He had so much room in there, it's ridiculous. It took up half my living room because I tried to have one to where he would just like stay in the living room and stuff. I don't really have doors. I had the bathroom door and that's it. And I couldn't just leave him in the bathroom. And then so he kept on trying to go up the stairs. So I was like, nope, And then so I put him in there, and every single week, it was the first week he had to get the splint completely replaced because it had slipped so far down. And I was like, how do you keep a 5-month-old kitten immobilized? It's almost impossible, even in a cage. And then Dolly would get like up on the top of the cage and just sit there and like claw at his head. She was so mean to him, but it was so cute at the same time. And then he would sit there and climb up the side of the cage. And I'm like, this is a little spider monkey. And then I think it was the first week he had to get it replaced, and it was just 2, 3, 4 weeks of having to get it replaced. And then at one point he completely took it off. The splint was just completely off. And then so I think it was like week 5, I think. And then so they said whenever I took him for the weekly visit, because I think it was like a day early. And so I went in there and they said, I think next week you can probably just completely have this off because he looks so much better. He can almost put weight on the leg, and it was almost completely healed. So they said about another week. And then so finally, next week we got it off. And it was, I didn't know what to do at that point because he was healed. But I had him at that point for a while. So I did try to put him up to be rehomed. But I didn't really get anything because people either want like older cats or they want kittens. They don't want like a 6, 7-month-old cat. So no bites. But I think he's been the most challenging because I don't know, he will let you do just about anything to him. Like he takes medicine with no issue. Like whenever I was giving all the kittens and all the cats like dewormer and stuff, they all sat there and they would spit it out and they would run. Him, I just picked him up, opened his mouth, stuck the syringe in, and you, okay. And he'll just let you pick him up whenever, and you can just hold him like a little baby. You can put him over your shoulder. He just doesn't care. He's just like, okay. And he doesn't care where you pet him. You can pet him on the belly, because you know cats are kind of weird about that. He's happy with it. But he's a peer. He pees everywhere. Everywhere. So I'm constantly having to clean up cat pee. And if you know anything about cat pee, it has like special enzymes in it so that you can't just get rid of it. You can't just like use some kind of cleaner and wipe it and it's gone. Like you have to use this special enzyme remover stuff, and it's expensive. But I've had him, he's what, just over, he turned a year in April. And now he's just kind of part of the family. Even though he pees. I live on this stuff. Which is sad, but he's such a good cat, besides that one issue. But he did father Dolly's kittens. I need to go and get her fixed now. But that's the inside cats and dog. Oh God. At this point, it's just like, I just go crazy just even thinking about how many I have. But then there's Kit outside. And whenever I moved in, just over 3 years ago, I guess it was probably about a month or two after I moved in, and there was always this little kitten outside, and I mean probably like 6, 7, 8 weeks. Everybody tried to catch her, everybody. But I started putting food and water outside every day, and she would always come up. And then it got to the point to where she then started coming on our walks with us because she just kind of fell in love with Harley. And then it just kind of got to the point, I tried to bring her inside. She won't let me touch her. I can sneak a pet in, but then she'll be like, no. But she loves to like rub against my legs and stuff. So she's allowed to touch me, but I'm not allowed to touch her, which is fine. And she's a hoot. She will just sit there and just look in the window and just stare at all of us. And I'm like, okay, well, just come in. Nope. I think the farthest she got was like 1 or 2 steps inside the door. And then she's like, nah. But every once in a while, she'll stick her head around the corner when we open the door and she'll be like, I'm like, okay. But she'll just sit there and just stare. And if I don't have food outside, oh my gosh, I will know, because she will sit there and she will scream at me until I bring her food out. And I actually got in trouble from my apartment because they didn't want like food bowls and stuff outside, so I have to hide it. That's okay, she's worth it. But yeah, it's been 3 years and I'm the only person she'll come around. A cat that goes on walks, because I mean, if y'all saw my last video, you would see that I live right behind a Chipotle and Starbucks. So whenever I take Harley out for the nighttime walks, of course she's with me. And then so the employees will take out the trash and stuff to the dumpster. So for probably like the first year, all the employees were like, is your cat going on a walk? And I'd be like, oh, she's feral. She's not my cat. She just really likes my dog. I think they're used to it now though. So I haven't gotten questions in a while. But she's just so cute. And I think that's all of them. I may be missing 1 or 2 at this point. I don't know. There's probably like cats or dogs or something like hidden in a cupboard. I don't even know at this point. It's ridiculous. And I wish I had like a huge big house and a big huge yard and just adopt all the dogs and cats that I wanted, but I can't. But I have enough. And that will do for now. But unfortunately, like Harley, he is 12 years old. And I don't know what I'm going to do without him. Hopefully he lives a very, very long time. We'll see. But fingers crossed and praying he makes it to super old age. Because he is just covered in white, poor baby. He still jumps up on the couch and everything. He whines about it, but he's always done that. I have to pick him up to put him on the bed, but I've always had to do that too, because he's kind of a little scared. He's a scaredy cat. But I think that is it for today. That was a lot of talk about a lot of animals, and I'm sorry. But now you kind of understand my living situation. Maybe that's why I don't talk to people. I don't know. Well, I'll see you in a few days. So thank you for watching. Bye.